everyone. Today the 6th round of the Women Grand Prix took place here in the capital of India, New Delhi. Polina Shuvalova of Russia, who's playing under the FIDE flag, played against Assaubayeva Bibisara of Kazakhstan. Polina opened the game with one d4, to which Bibisara replied with the King's Indian defense with 3 bishop g7, and Polina chose the 4-pawn attack as her weapon of choice. After 7 moves, they reached this position on the board. With the knight being on g4, white played h3, black went back knight at 6, which is the only available square, and white plays g4, controlling the square f5 as well. So what is the knight doing on h6? Nothing at all. And this is a clear advantage position for white. Black played king h8 here, hoping to make a square for the knight on g8, to which white calmly replied with the move bishop d3. White has an advantage. Bibisara was stuck with a passive position, so she decided to lash open in the center with the move e6. e6 was met with e into d6. Black played knight to b6 here. White played f5, so both the pawns can be taken. Black took on d5 with the pawn. White played bishop f4, supporting d6, because also want to point out that black cannot take queen d6 here because of the move knight to e4, which attacks the queen, controls g3 check, and once the queen moves back, we simply play f6 and trap the bishop. Bishop is forced to take on f6. Even though it's supported, we pick up the h6 knight for free. That's the reason black first takes on d5 and opens the e file for his rook. So black took ed5, and here white supported the d6 pawn, not allowing queen d6 on the next move with bishop f4. Black continued with knight c4, and white took bishop takes, pawn takes, and here white has a great position. She could have simply continued with queen d2 with the intention to long castle, and if rook e8 check, white's king can hide on f2, and white has a wonderful position, a huge advantage already, and we can expect black to suffer longer. But here white decided to sacrifice a second pawn with f6. White sacrificed another pawn with 16th move f6, queen takes, and white supported the bishop queen d2, attacking the knight on h6. Black gives a check on e8. King simply moves to f2, which is safe for now. And now since the knight is attacked, knight goes to g8. Look at black's pieces. White continued playing actively and plays rook a1, challenging the strong rook on e8, and black went back queen d8, which is perhaps the only move in this position. Here white would have retained an advantage after rook takes, queen takes, and rook to e1, followed by knight g5. Queen d8 loses to d7, so black's queen has to go to d8, and here knight g5 or knight d5 would have been enough to give white an advantage. For example, let's go knight d5 here with the threat to play knight c7. But here, instead of taking on e8 first, white went wrong with the move knight g5. It looks great because we are threatening to take on f7, and it's a checkmate. So bishop e6 supporting f7 doesn't work because white simply picks up the bishop, and when we take it back with the rook or the pawn, knight f7 is checkmate. Look at the poor king stuck in the corner. However, black will not play bishop e6, but she found a brilliant defense, the only move in this position, rook to f8. The rook survives and guards the f7 pawn. Here onwards, things started to go wrong for white, and the game started to tilt in black's favor. Now, white continued with an active move like queen d5, attacking f7 once more. Black played bishop e6, not caring about the pawn. Also, the pawn is poisoned because if we take it, then the f4 bishop hangs. So white took on c5, and once again, without caring about pawns, black looks to activate her pieces with rook c8. Black was able to take over by rerouting her bishop from d7 to c6, a brilliant decision by Bibisara, difficult to find. And then after Polina's mistake to keep the rook on h2, her position became even worse. Let's have a look at how the game ended. Here, white has just played h4 to support the knight. The knight is taboo because of h takes, and the king is super vulnerable on the h file. So what is the problem in white's position? Well, the problem is the g4 pawn, which is now unsupported. When the pawn was on h3, that was not the case. But after h4, queen comes to d7, another wonderful find by Bibisara, and targeting g4 now. Now the queen had to go back to e3 perhaps and find some sort of defense, but it is very difficult. So Shuvalova plays knight c e4 here, hoping to support the g4 point with knight f2. Black still plays h5, white took on h5, and here black doesn't take back because knight f2 controls g4, but she plays knight h6, a wonderful multi-purpose move, activating the knight, controlling g4, and also threatening knight f5 in the future. Here, Polina's position already became very difficult. She played rook f2, hoping to get out of any kind of checkmate. Bibisara played the calmest move in the position. She plays rook to e8, a move we did not expect at all. We were all expecting queen g4, but rook ce8 seals the deal. Now the knight is also pinned. It can never move because of the rook hanging on e1. Post this, the next move was h takes g6, and again black doesn't give a check immediately but coolly takes on g6 with the pawn, and white's position is completely busted because of all kinds of threats coming in. Queen g4 and rook f4 is one idea. The other idea is to play knight f5 check, followed by bishop d4, attacking the queen as well as the rook. And what is our queen doing on a7? If it comes back, we simply pick it up with knight f5 fork to the king and the queen. So here, Polina, having come under a lost position, resigned. This was a remarkable game, a extremely topsy-turvy game with a lot of advantage for Polina in the beginning, but Bibisara completely turned it around with the brilliant move rook f8, bishop d7, bishop c6, and then queen d7. Full marks to her for defending a difficult position and coming back so strongly with amazing chess.